Shazam looking to open huge worldwide. CinemaCon brings tons of news about DC movies, and that Joker trailer is truly disturbing. Today on DC Movie News.
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies. And now, here's Popcorn Talk's DC Movie News.
Oh, I got a live one there. I'm of a mind, makes a movie. Batman, somebody tell me what kind of a world we live in when a man dressed up as a bat gets all of my press. This town needs an enema. All hands on deck, yeah! All right. How we doing, people? Welcome to DC Movie News.
I love the fact he did that direct Jack Nicholson monologue perfectly. What type of world do we live in where a man dressed as a bat gets all of my press?
This is my favorite intro ever.
Oh my goodness, guys, there's so much news. We don't even know where to start. We're actually starting so close to on time. That's how much we have to talk about. It's been a crazy week. We have trailers dropping for the Joker movie. We got Shazam opening this week. We have CinemaCon happening. We have a crew of faces you'll recognize, although it's not the typical crew. Speaking of Mr. J Washington is here.
Thank you for having me.
I'm glad Jay's here because some of you might remember that we were talking Joker movie, and Jay had a very kind of hot take or different opinion. And were you here that day too, Elena?
Yeah,
I seem to remember you were here, and you guys had a very interesting point of view. And now I'm so interested to talk to you both after the trailer has dropped. And as I've mentioned her, Elena Jordan is here. Welcome, Elena Jordan.
Hey, that's me. I'm Elena Jordan.
That's you.
She's such a ray of sunshine.
I think Roxy is away. I don't know if she's doing Schmodown stuff or something she's got going on. Roxy had something going on. Johnny's not here. Mikey's not here. But, you know, we're always here for you. We will have a show for you regardless. So we are going to talk Shazam spoilers at the end of the show. Briefly, we're going to try to. But we have so much news to get through. Let's jump in. I'm Adam Gertler, if I didn't mention that already. First, we have Shazam is opening, and it already seems to be doing really well abroad. I just saw Deadline has reported that Shazam, in its first 2 days of previews, and including the Friday, I think, is made 15 and change, and then China is also going to match that with 16 million.
Yeah.
So it's looking to clear 100 million internationally, and then the predictions in the United States are anywhere from 45 to 55 million, although what are you guys thinking? I still think it sounds low.
I think it's hella low.
Yeah.
With all the hype that's behind it, there hasn't been any negative criticism about this film.
I'm calling 80.
I'm calling 75.
Wow.
I'm definitely calling. People are going to keep seeing this movie. Granted, it's a surprise element that we'll talk about later that some people wouldn't know that was going to happen. You know, it gets a little bit like, oh, God. You know, there's a moment or two it does that. But nonetheless, people are going to go see this movie. If the preview, people who didn't get to see it in the previews are going to go see this. And people who saw it in the previews are going to go see it again. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking forward to be about 75.
Yeah, you know, this movie is like, it's the kind of film where I feel like, I don't know that it's going to be anybody's favorite superhero film of all time, but it's just so hard to hate on it.
Yeah.
You know,
I have no soul.
It's a real good time. It embraces what it is, but it's also not like a stupid good time. It's a smartly made film. It's, I mean, what would you think? Elena and I were actually at the premiere together. Did you see it that night, or had you seen it before?
I've actually already seen it twice.
Okay.
But I loved it, and I'm gonna go see it again. Honestly, like I really, really enjoyed it. And what I thought was so smart. I know we had both kind of interviewed some of the cast and crew and everything, but what I initially thought was odd was that it's set, which this isn't a spoiler because it's in the trailer, that it's set around Christmas time.
Yes.
And I was like, that's odd that it's coming out in April when it's set at Christmas. And then I was told, oh, wait, but the resurgence of DVD and Blu-ray sales when it comes out at Christmas time
will work perfectly. Will
then double. I was like, so this is genius. Not only is the whole film made so well, the marketing campaign is genius. The releasing is genius. I love it. I'm all about it.
I've met a lot of people who've said this is actually their favorite superhero movie.
Oh, really?
It's gone in their top 5. I know people who've said it's gone in their top 5.
Well, I feel like the timing of this kind of film is really perfect. And now we're starting to see the strategy of the DC films kind of take place, because it's just the antidote to what is coming and what has already been there.
Yes.
It lets a little bit of the steam out. The stakes aren't like the world domination. It's not self-serious. It pokes fun of itself. It pokes fun at DC. DC, for all the criticism that it gets, it's also so good at making fun of itself, like in the Lego movies and everything. And this film definitely is in the world
Patrol.
of DC. Doom Patrol. Oh my
Oh,
god.
I love Doom Patrol so much.
it.
Oh my god, this show is so the
I
best.
do the after show for AfterBuzz. Shameless plug. Watch it.
Oh, it's so good. I'm a couple of episodes back, but I started watching Doom Patrol episode today.
Oh my god, that is so good.
That one is probably my favorite.
Oh, have you seen the most recent one that came out today?
I haven't seen today's yet.
Oh, wait till you see Danny Patrol. Oh,
Okay.
wait till you see that one.
Well, we've got we'll get to Roxy Striar's TV time in her absence in a little bit, and we'll talk more Shazam. But all of that to say is, the lower budget of Shazam compared to under other films, it being somewhere in the 80 to 100 million mark, mean that if this film makes 400 million, it's a huge hit.
Absolutely.
And it's I think it's definitely going to do that, and it's definitely going to just continue the goodwill for DC. And some of the criticism for DC films has been like, oh well, even if they're not doing the shared universe, they're just trying to be like Marvel, because now they're not going to be dark anymore, and now they're just all with the jokes. Well, a little trailer dropped this week that might pose a counterpoint to that, and
From jokes to Joker.
So
I like how you segued that.
yeah, thank you. We have this Joker trailer drop. You can find my reaction along with Jonny LoQuasto, Mike Kalinowski, and Roxy Striar. Our man Ryan put together a great reaction, and like you could see, Mike's face doesn't move. I had not slept the night before. I was coming off of an overnight shoot, and I was just like, it was like I was on drugs or something. It was so surreal, but kind of like what I expected. Now, you guys were kind of the opinion that you're like, I don't know if that we need to see that, because you liked not knowing about the Joker and that you didn't want to have sympathy for him. So I'm wondering, after this trailer, what your reactions are.
Well, Elena, I'll go let you go first.
I'm excited to see it. It looks good. It looks really good. And I mean, my problem was never that I thought that it was going to be a bad movie. It's just that I didn't understand why it had to be a Joker film. Mm-hmm. And I feel like even if this wasn't a Joker film, if this was basically like, hey, this is a King of Comedy nod, without being a full Joker as the character that we know it, and then giving him a full backstory, I mean, would I have liked it better? Possibly. But I do like any kind of adaptations and fresh takes of characters, even if it's ones that I feel like, we could branch out a little bit and maybe
And yeah, we have had
give
different
some
takes.
other villains.
Yeah.
But
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, we have had different takes on the Joker. We've seen that. Cesar Romero's, we never knew where he came from. Jack Nicholson, we knew he was a gangster that fell into the vat of acid. Heath Ledger's, we didn't know where he appeared from. He was just an anarchist. Jared Leto was just more so a crime boss calling himself the Joker. This one, we see a man who was somewhat normal. Somewhat, and I use that term loosely, but watch him break completely. And like I said, I'm still going to see it. I still like it. I still want to see the movie. The movie looks good from the trailer. We get a great character study in this trailer. You know what I'm saying? It's very artsy, but it's also semi-dark. I was going to see the movie regardless.
Of course.
I just was worried about that. Like, do I want to feel sympathetic for a dude who's gotten beaten up, then all of a sudden goes crazy, and then potentially kills everybody?
Well, it's an interesting thing. Obviously, you can make a movie about Hitler that could start off sympathetic too, but you're not going to be sympathetic for Hitler. And I think similarly, this movie might start sympathetically, but by the end, he will have broke bad. And I think maybe Zazie Beetz' character is going to be more sort of our hero. Like, I don't know that we're going to be rooting for the Joker by the end of this film. Like, I think he's going to be a really bad dude. It's just a question of showing how he got there. And I feel like they had Todd Phillips was like, I have this take. Do you guys want to make this movie? And they're rolling the dice. Like, this is such an exciting roll of the dice.
Well, having Joaquin Phoenix helps you to make that role too.
It does, but it's like, as much as he is a revered actor, it's not like he's box office gold, right? I mean, it's not like Joaquin Phoenix opens movies or any of them. It's really the Joker. It's the brand, and they're putting out the brand. And you're right, we just had the Jared Leto. I just think it's really brave for them to roll the dice on this movie. Like you talked about King of Comedy, the fantastic Martin Scorsese movie with Jerry Lewis taking an amazing sort of serious turn in that, and a great De Niro performance. The jacket that the Joker's wearing is the jacket that Rupert Pupkin is wearing also, so it's making direct nods.
Well, of course, because De Niro's also in it now.
He's in the
the
film,
talk show host, and Scorsese is a producer.
No, he's not anymore. Not anymore.
Is he not?
Yeah, I just found that out a couple of days ago. I was like, Scorsese's a part of it. That's why it looks like this. They said he's not a part of it anymore, but it still has that Scorsese.
Well, it's definitely like it's clearly an idea of like, hey, what if we made the King of Comedy, but the King of Comedy was the Crown Prince of crime?
But also some Taxi Driver in there too.
Yeah.
Oh, there's definitely some Taxi
And
Driver
it looks like there's nods of Xeno Hours, Hitler, Marvel, or DC. I mean, technically he's Marvel because Captain America was punching him out, but I don't know. What was I saying about this Joker movie? It's got me all afluster. So you were talking about the tone. Do you see this being R? Because right now I feel like it could go either way.
I'm thinking it's gonna go hard R. I think that the next like real trailer because this is supposedly just a teaser. This isn't supposed to even just a full trailer.
But it was over 2 minutes.
I know that was the weird thing about it. Like, you can't call it a teaser when it's 2 minutes. However, I think the next one we're gonna tell you everything. Because I think if we see a lot of murder in this one and the way he handles his character, or if it just comes up with the red band, that'll let you know everything.
It seems like it might be R more for just how psychologically disturbing it is, other than just gore.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it looks so dark. And I think making it R-rated is a good idea, so you don't have like younger people going to see this and thinking it's going to be some kind of fluffy film. This film makes like Logan look like a Pirates of the Caribbean movie, you know? You know what I mean?
The timing and the tone kind of made me feel almost a little Hereditary a little bit too, which is also like not that gory, but the gore that's in it is so poignant.
When it hits you, it hits you.
And it feels like that's going to be what this is.
I saw a lot of psychological. I went back in my head, Silence of the Lambs, the first one, how you got real psychological and real dark. Granted, we knew what Buffalo Bill and what Hannibal Lecter were doing, but you just watched it. It was just intently staring at the screen like, oh my God, what's next? What's next?
This is my favorite trailer since the Man of Steel trailer as far as DC films.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hey.
And I'm saying that only based on involuntary chills that I experienced from it.
Yeah.
Like, I just watched it again for like the 10th time or something, and like the laughing in the Comedy Store when he makes his appearance and he's doing that confident strut when he's finally in that Joker version in that Cesar Romero inspired color costume.
That walking down the hall.
Oh my God.
Walking down the hallway scene, yeah.
Oh, Kal-El Femme 49 is like, nah, Adam. What do you mean, nah, Adam? I'm telling you what I think. There's no yes or no. Anyway.
It's like that's actually Jared Leto. Like, nah, it's not.
Nah, yeah.
You remember this?
Yeah, at no point was I like really afraid of the Jared Leto Joker. You know what I mean?
I wasn't afraid of that didn't scare me.
So it's saying Nightcrawler vibes.
That sounds like Penguin.
That was how he laughed though. He was like
Yeah.
Danny DeVito was a little bit scarier.
But there's also a lot of stuff coming out from WonderCon. We have lots of reports. We have some footage that was shown from the Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn.
CinemaCon.
CinemaCon, sorry, I said WonderCon. WonderCon actually did give us some news too, but more TV stuff.
They gave
us just TV.
And we'll get to that later.
Went to CinemaCon
okay,
in Vegas.
Because it's a CinemaCon.
And I'm also like, can we space these out so you don't have to like pick one
Too
or the other,
much?
guys?
Yo, so look, there was just C2E2 like last week in Chicago. I was there. Then there was the week before. Then there was WonderCon. Now there's CinemaCon. Next week is Star Wars Celebration. And then there's
I never get to do Long Beach Comic Con because it's always when we have.
I never get to go to Long Beach either. I never get to go to Long Beach either.
Space them out, y'all.
So some of the information we have is that the Birds of Prey are kind of like a girl gang. In the beginning of the film, Harley Quinn is not part of that. And here's a little quote. Birds of Prey is coming. I love long titles, Margot Robbie says. As we said, that is a very long title. It's a girl gang. And she also says that Harley's not initially part of the gang. The footage kind of showed Harley hanging onto a car while rollerblading behind it. The black mask takes aim with a gun, and the group of 5 women walk toward the camera, Guardians of the Galaxy style. So I know we have Huntress, I know we have Black Canary, I know we have Harley Quinn.
And a question.
So who are these other 2 women we have?
Barbara's not in it.
Barbara's not in it.
Renee Montoya. That's
Right.
Renee
Rosie
Montoya.
Perez.
That's Rosie Perez.
So there's a 4th one still, or a 5th one. And I know, was it Cassandra Cain, or one of the Cains is
They
like...
go
it's
for,
Ca-
it's
Cas-
to rescue
Cassandra.
Cain. So it's basically that group going for
Right, and she's
Cassandra
Black
Cain.
Massa's daughter, potentially.
Yeah.
Something like that.
But I am kind of bummed that Barbara isn't. I'm glad that they don't have like Harley kind of replacing it though, especially Christina Hodson writing both like Batgirl,
Yeah.
but
Is
I want the
Batgirl
birds.
still happening?
Well, she's supposed to be writing that and a potential Birds of Prey versus Sirens trilogy.
And that's the thing that's been confusing me so much. Like, originally Gotham City Sirens became Birds of Prey. Then they were like, no, we're still
now
going
it's
to...
going to be different things, but
Right
now
now-
it's kind of morphed
Well,
into...
guys, if you're confused, that's because, remember, none of this stuff is official. We're
Right.
hearing about a lot of stuff that is at some point in the production, but
Yeah,
the way
yeah.
DC is doing things is like they're sort of like they're planting seeds, and as they really start to bear fruit, so yeah, they might have a 3-part Birds of Prey Siren sort of trilogy sort of
If
way
this
to go.
does well.
Okay.
Right, but they're not committing to 5 movies like they
Right.
did when they started the first time.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You
But
know,
it's smart because if they set it up this way where she's not, like she's working with the Birds of Prey, but she's not really officially part of it, then when Sirens comes up,
She can go over there.
Yeah.
right. Well, we also know from some other footage we've seen that we see her apparently getting kicked out of the house by her boyfriend, the Joker. There are scenes with Harley walking out of stuff, and you can see in the window there this dude that looks very much like Jared Leto Joker, and then we had Jared Leto putting out some tweets implying that he would be involved, possibly because he put a little Joker thing out there. So what do you guys think? Do you think we'll see Leto in it, or just something that looks like him in the background, maybe VO? How do you think we tie it together?
It's going to be difficult because he's filming Morbius right now. I think if we do anything, because I don't want to hear him say again, well, I had a lot of extra scenes. If it's just this, I don't think you need him directly. If it's just a silhouette or somebody in the window just seen in the background. I don't know.
Animation dude, yes, the Whedon Batgirl has been dead for a while. Joss Whedon got out of that game quite a while
Right,
ago,
right.
and
Yeah,
then
but
this
Christina Hodson
right.
is who picked it up.
Right.
Who they're also looking at to write as well for,
Yeah.
for the series. But as far as the Joker goes, the only thing that kind of pisses me off is I was hoping that they would go like hard with the Joker. Like the Joker is a bad guy, not just like he's a boyfriend who tosses your stuff out the window. Like I'm like, he is a maniacal, like he in the comics at one point locked this woman up with a bunch of cadavers dressed as her to make her think that her own existence didn't, I mean, like the king of gaslighting, like horrific. Then you would be like, look at this team of women who are coming to support her.
And that's the thing, it would make the story a little bit better.
Stronger than if you just see him like,
I think that the tone of this film is not going to be as dark as Joker.
it's not.
Oh, for sure.
Where do you
No.
find it? I think there will be humor, but it will be a little dark. I mean,
The humor lets you know because of the title itself.
right.
When you hear the fantabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn, that lets you know there's humor involved in it
It's going to
automatically.
be Suicide Squad-esque.
Yep.
I feel like we could even have a lot of like Harley narration in this film. Like
Tons.
her,
Oh.
I know a lot of people are talking about unreliable narrators, so we have a lot of this stuff coming from Harley's twisted point of view, and that could be an interesting place to come from.
Well, even just the coloration of the shots that we've seen so far, like the way that it's almost like Riverdale-esque with like the kind
Yep.
of neon, like the pink and the blue.
And they blend, the colors blend so much.
And they have everything with like, and then the bright colors pop. Like it's very much this is going to be riddled with little comedic breaks type vibe, you know?
Yeah, well, it's gonna be really interesting to see. Now, as far as your Barbara Gordon thing, like having the current Batman continuity in flux, I think it's kind of safe to not put Barbara in there because it gives you a little bit more flexibility. We still don't know where Matt Reeves' Batman is going to be.
Well, we know it's set in the 90s, like 1995.
But we've heard that. We don't know.
Well, I think Reeves has actually said it. I think Reeves has actually himself
Has
said
he?
it. I believe Reeves himself has said it's going to be in the 90s.
Can somebody back that up?
Let me-
I want to find out if that's actually true, because I know there are the rumors, and I would appreciate that, because it would say, like, don't get this confused with Aquaman, with Justice League, because even though they keep saying that DC doesn't have a continuous continuity, they kind of do. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like we're about to talk about so Wonder Woman. Obviously, we have the same Wonder Woman. Some footage of that was shown in as well. And that sounds incredible. So here's a little description.
Definitely 84.
Yes, this is definitely 84. So here's a description of some of the footage we have.
It is said, Matt Reeves, this was from back in March. Back in March, because I remember reporting on it. Matt Reeves says Matt Reeves' The Batman is to be set in the 1990s and will feature early versions of the Caped Crusader, Commissioner Gordon, and Alfred Pennyworth.
Okay, which is so weird because it means that they could still use a Ben Affleck aged Batman or Ben Affleck if they wanted to bring that back around to the current continuity.
They could, but I think he's out altogether.
I think he is, but it means like if you replace him, you kind of need to go with that older Batman. Otherwise, it really starts to get wonky. Here's some of the footage. Wonder Woman jumps across the street. Diana is now at her full powers. Wonder Woman director Patty Jenkins says in the sizzle reel, Diana walks in front of the Washington Monument cuddling with Steve Trevor, who we still don't know how he exists.
Yeah, what?
This is so weird.
They'll explain it.
She whips her lasso in a mall. We heard there was a lot of shooting in the mall. Her colleague becomes her nemesis in the form of Cheetah.
Of course.
Wigging out.
Maybe they're like some artifacts or some mystical artifacts or something she gets the powers from.
Yeah, because she's an archaeologist.
Yeah.
And,
right.
And you know what, it's being Kristen Wiig, she's going to be freaking hilarious in this, as Cheetah especially, so...
And Patty Jenkins also says that we're treating the era just a little bit different than it has been done before, which we've seen the 80s done a lot before, but she says that they're doing something different with the 80s. So that is very exciting indeed.
I can't wait. I love Patty Jenkins.
I just want to know, how does Steve... The only thing that would explain
They're going to explain it.
He has to have ejected himself before he, let the plane do what it did in Wonder Woman. That's the only way. And then he flew away and he ejected and his parachute landed him somewhere.
Page of the Dark Knight.
Something.
But even still, then he wouldn't be alive 60 years later, though.
Yeah.
Well,
how does that explain that?
I'm not going to do that because my brain hurts.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, it could also be dream sequence, flashback.
Well, no, and I think Patty Jenkins has said it's actually going to be him.
All right, well,
we've also heard people say that it's really not a sequel. We heard Charles Roven say it's really not a sequel.
I don't know. Well, I mean, the fact that we're asking this many questions means that we're all going to go to find out that answer. It's way better than watching a trailer that's like, here's point by point everything that happens in the movie.
Here's Steve Trevor and Zubaz.
When, Mr. J, when are we going to see, for the people that were not at CinemaCon, when are we going to see our first glimpse of Wonder Woman 84, which is still over a year away?
You already know when.
Okay.
San Diego. That's why we haven't gotten anything.
So what is the order, if you're Warner Brothers, what is your footage order? Somebody else asked a question in the chat roll. With all the films that we have coming, we have Joker, we have Birds of Prey, we have Wonder Woman. Those are the next three up.
Okay.
And then maybe something else that they might throw in there. Maybe a James Gunn might be in production by that point.
Probably a Suicide Squad, the Suicide Squad still.
Well, we have the release dates for all
we got all
Yeah.
those. So we're definitely getting a Birds of Prey trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. We're getting the Wonder Woman 84 trailer. Mm-hmm. We'll get probably another Joker trailer. We'll get some footage or whatnot from the Suicide Squad, and it'll end with us telling us who's the Batman. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, I was just going to say the same thing.
It'll end with telling us who's the new Batman.
I mean, but that's like 2 years away at that point, and so...
I think you just go ahead and make the announcement.
21.
Yeah.
21, it would be the perfect time. I mean, Brie Larson was on stage like 3 years
early.
before her movie. And Chadwick Boseman was on stage.
Way before.
But so, I mean, it's really going to be hard. Even if Marvel shows up to San Diego this year, it's going to be hard for Marvel to top DC in this one, just because of the excitement, like you said, of potentially bringing out the new Batman.
And I don't think Marvel will do much. Marvel doesn't have much to bring except for freaking Spider-Man Far From Home. So...
Yeah.
Because Black Widow is going to be barely in production at that point.
They don't have anything else unless they have Doctor Strange, because Doctor Strange is set to come out next year. So, but other than
I just heard that. Yeah,
talking about at WonderCon too, they had barely a presence. Like it was all just Shazam DC. Like it was like
they're really waiting till after Endgame to talk about their big plan. So I think Marvel could just really almost like what they did at the El Capitan a few years ago. That could be their San Diego Comic-Con if they want it.
If they want to do,
or they could do it at one of their Disney things. But they're definitely going to have this is the next phase after the end of the next month. But San Diego is going to be really exciting for WB this year. So We have questions about continuity, shared universe, not shared universe. We had heard that this James Gunn Suicide Squad was going to be totally new, totally reboot, and then we heard, oh yeah, but Deadshot's going to be in it. And then we heard maybe Harley Quinn.
And like we were saying, Jai Courtney is back as Captain Boomerang, as well as Viola Davis is back as Amanda Waller.
Just breaking today, we found out, and this one I would have guessed this one.
Yeah, I would have been with you on that one.
If Jai Courtney was coming back, there's no way, because Amanda Waller was something that worked in the film. Mm-hmm. And this is definitely my least favorite of the DC films so far. But I certainly wanted to see another take. I just want to see a better movie. And I think not even just that it was David Ayer's
You wanted them
troubles.
to dig her into it a little more?
I do want him to, dig her Harkness a little bit in. I think WB's in a better place with making their films now. And I think they're in a better place to produce and let their filmmakers make films.
You got James Gunn. I think you're okay in this case. I mean, you have nothing to worry about anymore. And first of all, the fact that Disney took him back actually works in WB's favor. Because they're like, look, we got a Marvel director doing ours who knows how to put a team together. And James Gunn knows what he's doing. He knows the tone of the movie. He knows the tone he wants to bring. You've got this. I just want to see who they cast for King Shark, Peacemaker,
Dude,
and like a couple other ones.
Polka Dot Man,
Polka Dot Man.
Ratcatcher. Killer Frost is the big one because I'm like, what is this wig gonna look like? Don't you give me Flash like season 1 wig.
I think everybody said,
like,
everybody like, don't you give me Arrowverse wigs. Don't you
give me a Killer Frost that I want to make as a cosplay, please.
So, as you mentioned, and I know Roxy Striar was on Collider Live and Jai Courtney was in there the other day. Jai Courtney has made some comments since clarifying. Perhaps these clarify some things about Suicide Squad. This is Jai Courtney. I felt a bit weird the other day when I was dropped because it was funny. And I was like, yeah, I'm coming back. And I couldn't even remember if I was supposed to say that or not. And then, like, a long time I wasn't sure if my return was going to be the case or not. No, I sent the script. It's a great script. I suppose everything in it. I don't really think anyone knows what's going on. I don't think you read offline is going to clear up anything, and nothing I'm going to tell you today is going to clear that up. So, who've read the movie and people go on? Guns teams know what's going on. I think there's still some room for changes to be made yet. I don't know. I don't want to take any responsibilities for letting kids out of bags, and I don't want to know who's sensitive about what's being revealed. So that doesn't clear up too much.
That was...
Bravo! Bravo!
I think that does clear up, like, who can do a spot-on friggin' Jai Courtney impersonation, and it is the one Adam Gertler.
Oh, wow, well, thank you very much. It was just like as if Jai was in the room himself. But
Jai, I believe you.
So, you guys excited about this Gunn Suicide Squad? Is it?
I was excited once I heard he was directing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once I heard he was directing it, I was automatically excited. You know, because I had so much hopes. I went into the first Suicide Squad movie with so much hope and prayer. And like, yes, this is going to be great. This is the Suicide Squad. The trailers look amazing. And then I watched it and I said, why is Carla Delevingne doing a hula hoop all damn day? Why she just keep wiggling her hips? And why? What is the point?
Dance from WoW that the...
Yeah, but it's pointless. And El Diablo, I don't want to be that no more, man. And all of a sudden, when he turns into a giant fire monster, he turns back with a clean wife beater on. And I was like, who didn't look at that continuity?
It kind of blew my mind, too, because I was so excited. Harley is like one of my all-time favorite characters. And since this was going to be the first live-action on-screen representation, I was stoked. And then I went in and I was like, oh, wait a minute. They let the trailer house edit the whole movie. And so the whole movie looks like a trailer for a better movie. I just watched a 2-hour-long trailer for a different movie. And then now it seems like they're like, yeah, so here's that movie.
So that happened. Listen, we don't want you to remember too much about that.
Yeah. Don't worry. We've got James Gunn.
We got it all figured out now.
When you got the gun, just let him pull the trigger, man.
It also looked like there was casting for a large female femme fatale alien, possibly. Based on a report of Revenge of the Fan, was it? Revenge of the... so did you guys read that report about they're looking...
I saw it, and I don't know who it could be.
I mean, I was thinking Gwendolyn Christie would be perfect.
But I don't, do you have any idea what the alien character is? Chat roll, I'm curious. Who do we think this giant alien femme fatale could be in Suicide Squad? I was thinking maybe it was just like a gender swap Killer Croc.
It could be literally so many different characters. I mean, they could be pulling deep for this one just to make it kind of set aside from anything else.
I would leave it up to James Gunn to take a deep DC cut too, like something golden silver age, like just something from out there.
Everybody like what? Like that's
He likes to pull in these characters that you don't have any attachment to, so he can have fun with them. Yeah. And I wouldn't be surprised if all the returning squad members get like killed off right away. Like that could be a great
I mean, considering they're like, look at all these new people that we have. I'm like, oh, is this Squad 2.0?
Listen, I'll say this on behalf of everybody on the internets, everybody in chat rooms, and everybody in Reddit threads. We want Condiment King.
Condiment King.
Give me a dude shooting ketchup and mustard at people all day, every day.
Although I really am excited to see more of Jai Courtney's Boomerang, Captain Boomerang, because that was a character I thought he came off great in the film, and he didn't have enough to do. That was something I definitely wanted more of.
I love how you jumped out the bag and just started swinging on people. That was the best.
Yeah, right?
You always know that boomerangs come back.
Yes. See? They always come back.
Hey,
are you guys familiar with The Kitchen at all? The Vertigo title, The Kitchen?
Dude, this looks dope. I love Tiffany Haddish and Melissa McCarthy, so I'm basically just like, what I know mostly is like casting. I know it's like 1970s. I know it's mobsters.
And Elizabeth Moss.
Yeah. It's like this super feminist, like, badass. It
sounds like an alternate take of that film Widows that was out last year.
It kind of does seem like Widows, but like with more of a superhero adaptation.
Somebody in the chat just brought up a good point, and I thought about it. I forgot we didn't mention this of upcoming movies. Ava DuVernay has New Gods.
That's still out there,
yeah. Forgot about that one.
But we have not. But again, that has not. We don't have any kind of date or production. True. So that's one of those things that is like until it's greenlit.
Yeah.
Just because she's developing it doesn't mean that is greenlit. Like it's not fully in production yet, and that's. That's definitely something to consider. We're going to get through these stories so we can talk about Shazam. We're going to leave at least 10 to 12 minutes to talk Shazam at the end. But yeah, so there was the kitchen footage also at CinemaCon. So much stuff, and expect more news about all these coming down. Peter Safran, the producer of Shazam, was kind of just reminding us what we already know, that the Batman or Batman and Joker will have darker tones.
We clearly saw that in the trailer.
Yes. And
that they have a plan. Like that I think is his main point. Is he's like, look, we have a poignant plan where like Shazam will be a lighter, funnier tone that will go after this demographic, the younger people that we'll have, and then they'll have the Joker for, us.
For everybody else.
There's people who want to talk Swamp Thing. We're going to get to Roxy Striar's TV time, guys. We got to keep this organized.
Adam's here. We're not going to talk about
Of course I'm excited about
Come
this.
on.
Chill. Let's see. Henry Cavill's Mustache Gate inspired a new canon DC Comics Superman alias with facial hair.
Chaz Donan. This is okay. So in the new Action Comics number 1009, he freaking has facial hair. One of his aliases is named Chaz Donan, and they don't, like, Brian Michael Bendis doesn't flat out say, like, hey, this is based off of it, but they make, like, spy references and different things where it's, like, very much like, this is an ode to Cavill. So I just saw that and I thought everyone should know.
Oh my god! I saw. I think it was Heroic Hollywood ran the story that Michael B. Jordan was officially the new Superman, and I guess they ran it on April 1st. But everybody knew on April 1st to avoid any news story. But I didn't see it till 3 days later, and I had a brief moment where I thought that was actually happening.
Oh yeah.
And I was like,
April Fools for that reason. So I'm like, there's always a delay on Facebook.
Yeah, I was like, nope.
I'm like, it's like April 7th, and I'm like, y'all are just liars now.
So we're still not out there now. Without giving anything away about anything, you guys, you think Cavill's done? Do you think we're going to see a different Superman, or what are your thoughts? Because we know we're not seeing Superman anytime before 2022, minimum.
I just need the Warner Brothers. You make the money. Just go ahead and back that truck up, and just acquiesce the control to Cavill and Danny Garcia. Just let them say they want creative control, so you can keep Cavill. Let's not do this all.
I see. I don't think the problem is them wanting to keep Cavill. I think it's more that if they use Cavill, that would involve certain people that they're no longer in business with that are on as producers.
Yeah.
And it's very technical. And
remember, Cavill's manager is also a producer.
Yeah, as well as to her ex-husband, who is The Rock. He's a producer on Shazam.
Yeah.
And Snyder. And Deborah Snyder.
yeah.
They can't move forward with the Cavill Superman and take Zack Snyder out of it, I believe. And that's so it's really
But
complicated.
then there's the whole contract with like the 3 appearances, but then I don't want to touch on anything that could potentially be.
Yeah. So we just don't know about Superman right now, but right now they're doing so well with these other heroes. Like if they can make Shazam and Aquaman a hit in the same year, they got to be feeling pretty good about life.
Yeah, man. If you had asked us like 8 years ago, hey, if this was what was coming out, everybody would have been like, DC's lost their minds.
Yeah.
Aquaman movie again.
And they're fantastic.
It's working amazingly. It is working phenomenally. So keep going.
All right, guys. Let's. That's all our movie stuff right now. Let's do a little Roxy. What? Did we miss something?
Oh, I was gonna David Sandberg talking about Shazam and casting.
Oh yes. Well, yeah, we're gonna get to Shazam, but yeah. So David Sandberg, I guess he was saying that Zachary Levi was not the one and only choice. There were actually over 100 people looked at for the role, and Zachary Levi was looked at for a smaller part at first.
Yeah, he self-taped for a small part, and then he wasn't even auditioning for Shazam. And David Sandberg, after seeing over 100 things, was like, "That's the guy. He's a big kid. He's perfect." And then had him flown out and had producers, and then within like 2 days, he was told he was Shazam. Can you imagine? Like that's what I just think is so. That's the only reason I wanted to talk
I'm
about
still
it, 'cause
trying to
that's
get-
just like
I just need to be
no
a
wonder
villain.
he's so happy all the time.
I just want to be a villain. I just want to be a villain. I want to be a super villain. That's all I want.
I mean, you're dressed for it.
Damn right. But to hear that because he even says it in every interview. He was like, I can't believe this. This is surreal.
I think it's amazing. I
He's
love it.
he's so humbled and happy by it.
Yeah, he was incredible. He was great on the carpet again. If you didn't see, I had a little talk with him on the carpet. There've been lots of interviews with him, and he was just great. He was great at giving everybody their time, and he's super grateful. I mean, he was Fandral in an MCU film in 2 films, and it's hard to ask for more. But he didn't have a lot to do. And the Warriors 3 should have been a bigger part of those Thor movies, and they really weren't, particularly in the last one. So I'm really glad this guy got this role, and I hope we see more of him. But we're going to talk more Shazam. But first, let's get to a little Roxy Striar's TV time.
Boom.
It's time for Roxy Striar's TV time. Sing along with me this rhyme. Roxy Striar's TV time. She thinks that the Flash is fine. DC movie news, it's time to talk.
TV time.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. So also out of WonderCon, that's the right con, right? We got some news regarding upcoming DC titles and start dates and things like that. My favorite piece of information is that the Swamp Thing is coming on May 31st.
Yes.
Your thing is the thing of swamps.
So I was saying this before on Collider Heroes the other day. Since I was a very small child, I had 3 green monsters that I loved. Godzilla, Swamp Thing, and the Incredible Hulk. And in a period of about a month, I'm getting new versions of all of them. I can't believe it. The world has caught up. I grew up in a world where I was confused when people were talking about baseball stats and World Series and March Madnesses and things that I had no care for. And I was shunned and off in my room by myself with my comics. And now I'm walking out and people are talking about who's going to die in Avengers Endgame and what's going on with Godzilla. It's like, man, the world is caught up.
I literally just did a new episode of the Mad Titan podcast with Van Lathan from TMZ, and we were talking about how we growing up as kids, when you were a nerd, it was this thing you couldn't tell nobody, especially if you grew up in like really rough black neighborhoods. You had to be like real low key about your nerddom. Now everybody just walking down the street like, hey man, what you think about Shazam?
No, I used to get like freaking bullied all
Dude,
the
it was-
daggum time, like shoved into lockers, like big, whatever. It's cool now. We'll
guys,
take it.
I hate to step out of TV time, but we have breaking news right now. Thank you, chat roll, for reporting. Idris Elba is not going to be Deadshot
Whoa.
in the Suicide Squad film. He is apparently, and I haven't read any of this article, going to be a different character.
Oh man.
That's right. We're happening live. Stuff happens, guys. What the what? This is me so twisted and turned around right now because I thought if Will Smith was out, like, you don't need Deadshot. And what is going on?
James Gunn must have something better for him because
There-
again,
yeah.
he doesn't want to have somebody just jump into Floyd Lawton. That would that makes sense. And he's
To kind of differentiate it. I mean, all right.
Okay, be Peacemaker, please. Just be Peacemaker. Or let Idris Elba be King Shark. Please, God, let
that would
Idris
be
Elba
dope.
be King Shark.
This is our live shot about Deadshot.
Yes, this.
Wow. Okay, so I'm getting that. So Elba met with James Gunn and really wanted to be part of the team and signed on the spot, and it was not even in stone that he would be Deadshot. So, guys, this is very exciting. We'll see what's happening. We're not losing Idris Elba, but we did lose Deadshot. He's not going to be doing a different version of a Will Smith character.
That's good, though.
People are saying Bronze Tiger. Wow. Okay, now
King Shark gonna lose it.
Back to TV
Please,
time.
King Shark.
We have a first look at Stargirl,
Yeah.
which looks pretty awesome. The costume looks
She's
great.
very comic book accurate.
Yeah.
Very comic book accurate in this.
Oh, wait, were we not going to talk about Swamp Thing?
Oh yeah.
We
Was there?
skipped Swamp Thing. We
And
got
then you-
excited.
and then you
we
dropped-
didn't say
Well,
about Matt Ryan.
What else was there to say about Swamp Thing?
Was
It's
that
coming-
Matt Ryan wants
Constantine
to...
wants in this.
Constantine does want in Swamp Thing. Of course he does. So Matt Ryan,
He wants to constantly be Constantine.
he said that his show was canceled 4 years ago, and he's still playing this character.
Well, he's on
Arrow,
Legends doing a great.
Legends.
He's great on Legends as it, but it'll give you closer to getting the Justice League Dark if you bring him over there.
But let me ask you, wouldn't you rather see him on the darker tone of what is on the DC streaming service than on the
Yes.
CW?
Absolutely,
That's what I'm saying. I want
Absolutely
him
would.
in it.
He's
I
great
want
on
him as
Legends,
Swamp Thing.
and I enjoy Legends.
Not as Swamp Thing,
but
as
I think he
Constantine
can
in
go.
Swamp Thing.
Constantine. Well, but Matt Ryan is. He said that Constantine was born out of Swamp Thing, and that's where he should go. And while it seems like there are in different continuities, we have multiverses, and he's magic. He could be going all over it. I mean, it's easily explainable.
And he's dope, so
Let him
we'll
do
all
this.
be... Yeah.
Let him do this.
Constantine, he's great.
How do you guys feel
Anyway.
about the fact that we haven't seen an image of Swamp Thing?
I'm good with it.
People at
fine with
WonderCon
it.
have, though.
Oh, what?
I think
I
there
didn't
was
see
an
it.
image, but I haven't even heard a description of it, so I don't even know.
Ooh.
Yeah, because that was news that never came out.
Chat
then.
roll, do you have any kind of descriptions? I can't believe we haven't seen this. I'm expecting something to be guy in a suit, but also a lot of CG. Like, he's got to be part of the environment. I mean, he is the swamp. He's not just going to be the humanoid
I mean,
form.
especially with what they did with Robot Man so far, how practical
Yeah.
the suit is.
Yeah.
I could see something nice and practical for the Swamp Thing suit.
Yeah.
And
Like a modified ghillie suit.
Yeah,
that isn't
Yes.
I could
like-
definitely see that.
Yeah.
also, when Alan Moore kind of retcons Swamp Thing, which was originally made by Led and Wein, like, they kind of made it more that, like, he's not a man that turned into a swamp, but the swamp thinks he's the man.
Yeah.
Sort
Yeah.
of situation. So the swamp is the real entity that has somehow acquired the consciousness of Alec Holland and not the other way around.
Yeah.
So
I did like the movies, though. I did love the Swamp Thing movies. I love the movies.
That movie, the Wes Craven movie, terrified me as a kid.
Yes, it did.
But I thought it was so cool when he was like, his arm was cut off and he reaches up.
and it,
Yeah.
like...
He looks into the light, into the sunlight, and uses the sunlight to regenerate. Yes.
Oh God, yeah.
So dope. But anyway, Stargirl.
So we would Kal-El fan 49, Swamp Thing looking like Bane from Batman and Robin. I really hope you're just trolling me on that, and that's
I think
not
he's
true.
definitely trolling.
I really hope you are. If you are, I won't be mad. Just tell me it's true. What else we got? TV time, guys.
Stargirl looks dope.
Stargirl looks
My
dope.
friend Manzi actually worked on their costume team, so shout out Manzi, you guys did a great job. This is like one of the most celebrated costumes that has come out, like of all of the costume release photos.
I think all the costumes have been looking great on DC All Access. Is it
Yeah.
DC All Access? Is that
DC Universe.
DC Universe, sorry. DC Universe, which I think is getting better and better. Curran Walters, who is Jason Todd, has been promoted. It's reported to season regular, and that there'll be a new Robin suit coming on Titan season 2.
That makes sense because I think Titans is literally the story. It's supposed to be the story about Raven and everything. It's a story about Robin becoming Nightwing.
Yeah.
It's literally the story of Robin becoming Nightwing. So you need to have a Robin. And so this psychopath, right? Because Jason Todd's a psychopath, according
Yep.
to Titan. So, having him as Robin is cool with me, but I think we're just going to get Nightwing at the end of the day, and that's what they're doing.
And just to jump back to Swamp Thing, Ivan Soto's telling me there'll be reports that it's going to be horror heavy. Yeah, we definitely know that, and that is definitely consistent with
James Wan.
with the Alan Moore and the James Wan. And then now we're also having dipping back out of TV time. People are telling me that it's being reported that Joel Kinnaman will be returning as Rick Flag.
What?
Oh my God. The saga of the
happening
Suicide
right
Squad
now?
2.
You can listen.
This is why Jai Courtney's comments made so much sense.
You can shoot Rick Flag in the face in the first 10 minutes, and we would not miss nothing out this movie. You can shoot Rick
Wow.
Flag straight in the face. Look, Joe Kinnaman is not a bad actor, but this Rick Flag is just pointless.
But maybe they'll change it to where he's not.
Maybe, but
Shoot
I also
Rick Flag
think it would be a good idea to bring some characters back that you recognize just to kill.
Well,
Yeah,
if you're
that's
gonna, in
true.
the first 5 minutes,
Yeah.
I'm fine with this.
But not like how they did it with the rope guy, where you didn't care about him. Like,
Yeah, it's gotta be-
out here just to die.
of course, yeah. You knew that guy wasn't going anywhere. Okay, so we know that Arrow is ending next season. Stephen Amell says the Arrow season finale is sucking the very life out of him.
In a good way.
He's so dramatic, this
In
guy.
a positive way, he notes.
And Emily Bett Rickards isn't even going to make it to next season.
Dude, yeah.
Smoke is getting smoked? What do you think?
I wish she wouldn't have said anything.
Well, she had to because Reborning was going to announce on their, like she announced on her Instagram that she was stepping down because on Saturday, because on Tuesday she announced that she's going to be in Reborning off of Broadway at Soho House.
Oh, so she had to go ahead
And
okay.
she had already
Yeah,
played
makes
that
sense.
character in the Vancouver run. So since
now-
she's doing the second run and it was going to be announced, everybody would have known anyway.
Anyway, okay.
Good for
So it's
her.
better to get ahead of it, I guess.
That makes sense. I mean, because it just would have been a nice shock to see Felicity die. You know, because that's the only thing that can happen in this situation now. Like Mia is born and then Felicity dies, or you know she never gives birth. They
But
change the
literally,
timeline.
Reborning is all about this one character, Kelly, and so it's like she would have no time to film.
No,
Like, everyone would have
I
figured it out.
I got you with that. I'm
immediately.
just saying, like, this is now I'm theorizing how does Felicity exit out because
Yeah.
you can't do no Oliver. I can't do this, and I'm going away because that opens the door for her to come back.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I'm sure she'll get a dramatic death, and it'll bring it up to an action-packed next season. I'm excited that next season of Arrow is going to be 10 episodes.
Yes,
A hot episode, end on
Yep.
that. All right, we got to get to Shazam. We just want to mention we have a final look. Speaking of Jokers, we have a look at the Jeremiah's final form on Gotham. I think there's 2 episodes left of Gotham.
No, it was last night. Was the final? I think.
Was it last? No. It comes
No,
back
there's
April
still another
18th.
one.
There's
Oh,
2
that's
more
right.
episodes.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
what I'm sorry. Yeah. So my apology, but
Yeah.
this is I understand the acid burn look, but this looked like the Jeepers Creepers dude in a purple jacket. This looked
What
like
a
the
shameless.
This looked like the daddy to the Jigsaw doll. This looked like a crackhead who just found some gloves and some face paint.
I
This-
said that it looked like something that you order on Wish.com and then
Yes,
it arrives looking like,
like
that,
that.
and you were like, this looks nothing like the photo.
They be like, yo, you gonna get this Jack Nicholson Joker.
I love Cameron Monaghan too, and I was like, just be on Shameless, man.
Yo, this
don't
is
know.
shameless. This is shameless. This is ridiculous. He looked better before they
But
did.
it could look better. I mean, this is just again a still, you know, and like I don't want to hate on it too much.
Yeah, I caught an episode the other day, and he was definitely doing a Dr. Frankenfurter, Tim Curry kind of thing. He was like playing
Yeah.
him very much like this. I'm the Joker kind
Yeah.
of person. So they're going all over the place. Here's what I would say about Gotham. Gotham does not seem like it could be a prequel to Batman to me, whereas this Joker movie does look like it could be. Meaning, like, wherever, not to say that the Joker movie is going to be in any continuity that we're going to see match up with anything, but you're going to get a Joker at the end of this. I'm not saying, like, this is not how, they just got it all, you know, Gotham is just whatever they want to do. They're
They
throwing
were
it all out
smoking
there.
whatever Grant Gustin got
So-
arrested for on that plane.
Oh, speaking of which, the Flash was vaporized on a flight, trying to get himself a little calm. He was not too fast to be caught there. They were like, dude, we could see you get it coming out. And I guess Grant Gustin probably was vaporizing the thing, got a little high, and he's like saying to the
he set off the
attendants.
alarms.
He set off the alarms, and they were
Smoke
like,
alarms
"Sir,
in the
we saw you
plane."
come out." And he's like, "What are you talking about?" I wasn't. They were like, "We can watch you." And he's like, "What do you mean? I was so fast. Like, how did you see me?" And like, they're like, "Sir, no, you play the Flash on TV. We saw you moving at normal human
Word
speed,
for word, what happened?
very stoned."
And he was like, "I'm the Flash."
Dude, do you know what? Listen, let me say, you see my red leather suits? I have 8 of them now, okay? 8 of them. You understand?
He went to Canada though, so like it was like Canadian authorities were called, and they were just like, "All right, well, we love the Flash. Enjoy. Goodbye." Hey.
Listen, hey, mate, can we?
Sorry about it.
They say they confiscated his vape pen with no problem, no altercation. I was like,
Yeah.
so then nobody there was no U.S. Marshals on this plane to tackle him.
Nope.
Nobody, because they should have rushed his ass.
They did not arrest him. He was let go with a warning. No big
He's
deal.
just sweet and adorable.
I would just say, Grant, edibles, dude.
Dude,
They don't set off
I don't
alarms.
know if I should even say this, but I know somebody
Ooh, spicy.
He doesn't work there anymore, so I guess this is fine to say. He used to work at a weed delivery service,
Mm-hmm.
and Grant Gustin was one of his people that he delivered to, which now it's been established. So it's like
I will just cover us and say allegedly. That is alleged, as we cannot prove that.
I will say, whatever he was delivering, he tipped very, very well, and he's a very, very nice gentleman, and he's very kind. So it makes sense.
First of all, Grant Gustin looks like he partakes of the devil's lettuce.
Okay.
Anyway.
Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about Shazam, but finally I just want to say that DC also announced at WonderCon that every DC comic ever made, with the exception of the last 12 months, is going to be on the DC Universe soon. And then new comics are going to be about like 6 or 12 months behind. So it's been a little lacking in the amount of... What's that?
Up to. Could be less. Yeah.
So you're going to be able to follow a lot of comics online, which is so great to be able to be introduced to these characters and then see their comic origins. And also, we want to say a very happy 80th birthday to Batman. Detective Comics 1000 is coming out. Has that come out yet, guys? Do we know? Okay.
It has, because I wanted to buy all 4 covers and had to talk myself out of it, because I was like, don't buy 4 of the same damn comic, you idiot. You're paying $40 for one comic. But there's this you have to see the art. It's like Batman as Joker in a headlock. And it's like, it's so good. I only had the close-up of it. The big one is...
I have to go get a copy. Hey guys, that is our show. Now we're gonna spend about 10 minutes just talking about Shazam. So if you haven't seen it yet, get off the show. Come back and see us later. It's spoiler time. And I'm sure all your favorites, Johnny and Roxy and Mike, will be back there to talk about their opinions on it. I'll just say, for my part, I saw this movie twice. I liked it better the second time when I saw it with a big audience. The first act is full of humor, and I really thought it was fun. What are you guys thinking about Shazam?
So shout out to IMAX for inviting me out to see a screening, which that was the dopest way to see it for the first time.
IMAX for sure.
Saw it in IMAX. To watch the origin story of Dr. Savannah, to see why he's the way he was, you know what I'm saying? Again,
they magnetoed him.
You know what I'm saying? The fact that he was chosen. He was chosen like a bunch of, but also you find out hundreds of thousands of people have been chosen.
Make the final cut, and then they don't get it.
They don't get, like, he's like, all right, come on down here, I'm going to take in this train real quick, going down. And Thaddeus Savannah was ready to go, and then he was like, no, man, you too greedy, going back. And he in the back of the car like, hey, I can do this. And then his daddy don't like him. His brother's an a-hole. It's crazy.
John Glover being used again. Former Lex's dad.
That's a good kind of example of, like we were talking about the Joker, how you can have somebody's backstory and be sympathetic for them, but still be like, you're an a-hole.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, you're the clear villain. So, I mean, I think that's a good way that it shows that if it can be done in this lighthearted family film that's all about family, like when we were interviewing, everybody on the carpet was just like, it's family, it's what family means to you. So
it is. A big part of the film was, these foster children, and Billy Batson gets put in this foster house, and he's running away from all these foster homes. But you didn't do this trope of, like, abusive parents or anything like that. Like, this home is great. Like, the children there love each other. They're like brothers and sisters, and the parents are former foster kids themselves.
Oh, the parents are amazing.
And we see, like, a really kind of inverted way of what it means to be a superhero, because we have Billy being a superhero to Freddy even before he has his powers, when he's sticking up for him from the bullying. And we have, even the mom with the bumper sticker that's like, I'm a foster mom, what's your superpower?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's showing, these regular people can be superheroes to each other. And of course, sweet, adorable little Darla. Everybody is
friend
a superhero
of the show.
in her
Friend
eyes.
of the show.
So, I love that it really plays with that dynamic of the everyday superhero.
When Freddy and then grown Shazam are getting into it, and he's like, yeah, you mad because you don't have these powers? And Freddy's like, yes.
Yeah,
I wish I did.
Yeah.
He was like, you see my life? Like, yes. And I was like, oh.
Yeah.
But can we talk about the 7 deadly sins real quick?
Oh, yeah. What'd you think about
that scene in the boardroom?
Oh, God.
Oh, my gosh.
That's the scene I was talking about earlier, where it's like, if you got little kids, you better warn them. This shit gets real right here.
Yes. Yeah,
the second time I saw it, I was sitting next to somebody who had a little kid, and they were like, whoa.
No,
this
it got plenty scary. Animation dude actually expressed the one little picadillo I had, too, is that Asher Angel and Zach don't always feel like the same person.
Yes, that's my only thing too.
He's almost younger when he's Shazam.
Yeah.
So you thought that too?
I did a little bit, and that was one of the questions that I asked on the carpet too, and they said that they didn't watch dailies for each other, and they didn't really work. They were never in the same room, so they just kind of went based off of the age less than...
See, and I think that was the thing they should have done.
And so I think if they had seen each other's dailies and kind of had the ability to practice a little bit, I think maybe... but I still thought it was great. I thought they did a good job.
I don't even think if you saw the dailies, just have them sit down and meet each other first and forehand. You know, how are we going to play Billy Batson? You know,
I mean, they had those meetings.
I mean, but like, the dailies too probably would have helped. But again, because it's like he gets over the top.
I think that's really on the director.
Yeah,
I think that's on Sandberg to really guide the performance. You know, Asher Angel had not really been in a big film before. I think he's coming from theater and stuff.
And like Disney or Nickelodeon.
Yeah, so, and Zachary Levi is obviously more of a seasoned actor. He's been acting a ton. I don't think it's actually on Zachary Levi to say, hey, you got to act more like me. But the thing is, I really do like that version of Billy Batson too. You know, I mean, he's got a chip on his shoulder, and yet he's really funny in that opening scene with the cops when he knocks him in the thing.
I love it.
He's like, oh, you really fell for this. You really fell for this.
So good. And it makes me wonder too if originally Zachary Levi was cast as Adam Brody's character.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, so we can talk about the fact that the Marvel family, we call them the Marvel family. None of these heroes are ever actually named in this film. That's a great ongoing gag.
Well,
He's never
can't.
Officially called Shazam or anything.
Because he can't. Remember when the scene when he gives his powers to the family?
Right.
They all grab the staff and he says, say my name. And they all go,
Billy! Oh, that's great.
He was like, no, say the name that I got to say. So, yeah, I like that one.
Super good.
So yeah, the family was great at the end, though. I mean, that moment did so well when they grabbed that staff, and then you see the Marvel family, and like if you know the source material or the cartoon or anything, like you know that is a huge part of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And did you guys pick up on the fact
the
that
Funkos kind of spoiled that already?
Yeah,
no,
was
isn't it
pissed
amazing
about
how
that.
toys are the biggest spoilers these days?
I'm so pissed about that.
What is going on?
I have been saying this for months now.
It makes me so mad.
Toy makers need to be held to embargoes like review critics need to be.
I think so too.
I have been saying this for months because we knew when they came out with the Shazam Funko Pop.
Super Darla was like the first one, and they're like mega good, and I was like, you're saying the actress.
Well, we said, and then also we knew because the actress had been cast, and then that had come out already.
Yeah.
So you knew what was gonna happen. But when you saw the Funko Pop, you were like, well,
that was
it's
the
for
announcement
sure.
with the Funko Pop was they put the grown actor's name.
No, it was before
too.
the actor. No, it was. I know they did that as well. But
And what was his
before.
name? What was Adam Brody's name as that character? Like it was like Kid Marvel, or I mean, from the original. Like who's he supposed
I
to
can't
be?
remember.
Anyway, some people are asking how is Adam Brody. Some people are saying he stole the show. When you talk about comparing to the child actor, Jack Dylan Grazer is in every scene of this film. Adam Brody clearly modeled his performance after what he did.
Because you see how he looks when he gets the part.
That was spot on.
You see how he looked when he got it. He was like, oh.
Because he's the kid who's disabled too.
Yes.
And so he's like goes from disabled to super, and like it's just so sweet. I'm seeing Mike Kalinowski and Jonny LoQuasto in our separate chat roll are just realizing about the Deadshot news right now too. Captain Marvel Jr. Thank you very much, chat roll. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Marvel Jr.,
And he's got that blue costume that I remember. And I guess some of the other colors are more from the New 52 version.
Green,
the
gray, purple.
Right, where I seem to remember Captain Marvel Jr. having the blue, but it's other characters more the red, and Miss Marvel too, right? Was it Mary Marvel?
Yeah. But here's the thing with her. So this is where they're deviating from the story because in the original, she's his twin sister, and he doesn't know. So, but of course, she's older in the movie. Mm-hmm. She could technically still be a sister, unless that makes his mother a complete deadbeat on top of what she is.
Yeah, and then that also brings a little Luke Leia situation into there because he was definitely. That was a scene I actually loved when he was Shazam trying to give her advice, but he was clearly younger than her and didn't really know how to give advice.
And he was saying stuff he knew that he shouldn't have known. He was like, she was like, "How did you know?" So. Whew.
I like that scene.
Yeah. And also I love hands. Lightning in my hands. Lightning in my hands. We were excited. Ryan, our producer, too, was also really excited to see Philadelphia used. And I didn't realize, but I guess that's something from the New 52 as well, that Philadelphia is the setting for that. Philadelphia does not often get a lot of props in the superhero world.
Hey.
And that's good to see. I lived there for 4 years, so I have a little bit of a soft spot for Philly.
Yeah, they kept like the location and the time period.
When he ran up the rock, he said, "I don't know why he would do this." Now I know why he would do this.
Yes.
Did you pay attention to the Black Adam reference in the beginning?
Yes, we chose another champion.
Yes.
Very subtle, very quick. There was also several appearances of Mr. Mind in this film.
Especially in the end.
Yes. Well, in the end, if you stay to the second the first mid-credit scene is Mr. Mind.
Yes.
Yeah, the second is the Aquaman reference.
Yes. So Savannah is going to be back, even though he's depowered at the end of the film. He's got another way in, and like Mr. Mind is there, this talking, super intellectual caterpillar, which is so bizarre. Let's talk about the cameo from Big Blue.
They did it. I knew that was the cameo when he said it in the bet.
Well, when he said it in the bet, Superman's going to bring in dessert. You knew it was coming.
I was like, okay, that's the cameo.
Were you disappointed that we already had heard this because of the Cavill contract dispute? That this one cool cameo was totally spoiled by public dirty laundry? Like,
not really, because it also answered the question, like, who are they going to actually show Cavill? What's it going to be? And then it just opened up a whole new can of worms of like, okay, well now his contract isn't completed, so what else are we going to see him in?
Did we see his hands? Were they white hands?
All we saw was the suit. It was so dope. They was like, all right, we're going to use the exact suit.
Yep.
And we're going to make sure you see nothing.
We did not use the Hans Zimmer score.
They didn't.
We used the John Williams music. We heard that I love that Warner Brothers will not let that one rest because it's one of the greatest themes of all time.
Yeah.
You don't let that one go.
Really
and they've
is.
tried to bring it back a lot of times, but
Pretty super.
yeah, so it should have been Henry. I see people are saying in the chat roll. Yeah. I think what happened was they wanted it to be Henry. And then I think Henry wanted to know, like, yeah, but as my mom would say, shit or get off the pot. What are we? What's the future hold for me? And I think they were not ready to commit to another Superman movie. And I don't think he wanted to just be a cameo.
Yeah.
And
especially with them saying they're focusing on Supergirl now.
Well, again, that's out there, but it's not.
We'll see.
We'll see. Well, and then Ivan Soto saying, isn't he supposed to say Shazam with purpose to become Shazam and not literally every time he says it? I don't know. You know, there have been so many different versions of this character since the 40s, which is one of the great things that they're able to draw on different mythologies. So it could be in some that they do that. I think it's really fun that they make it so if he says it, he turns. I think that worked really well. And by the end, in that last scene, in the third act, which was awesome, when he's saying it all the time, it really is used effect, and he's even becoming small to get out of a death grip at one point.
He did the scene everybody wanted to see with him being held and him saying that somebody gets struck by lightning. So he did that scene, which was dope.
All that being said,
I loved it.
I think this is it's a really cool film to see if like you're a younger kid, like around 12, 13, you're the perfect age to see this movie because it's going to be a little scary. And if you're a little bit older and you're an adult and you have a heart, this is a fun time at the movies, and it's not like dumb fun. It's quality fun.
Yeah.
So I highly recommend this movie. Guys, any final words on Shazam before we start to say goodbye?
Go see it. I definitely will say see it, but definitely make sure if you're taking younger kids, be prepared. It's a scene that's going to catch them, and you're going to be like, oh my God, this child is not going to know what to do.
It is fantastic. I still think it's fun for the whole family, though.
It's overall
really
fun.
Really good message and really great performances.
Cal Fan 49 is also saying Mr. Mind was voiced by David Sandberg. That's really cool.
Nice.
I did not know that. All right, Elena, where can people find you online to continue this conversation?
You guys can find me on Twitter at Elena Jordan and on Instagram at Elena J. Jordan, and here doing the Doom Patrol after show. And we didn't talk about Pennyworth, but I do have to say,
Pennyworth, yeah.
Quick shout out. I love Paloma Faith. She's one of my all-time favorites. So congrats to Paloma Faith as Bet Sykes.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. The Pennyworth trailer is out there. Check it out. We'll talk about it next time. Mr. J.
Mr. J Washington, Twitter, Instagram, JAY Washington 80, YouTube, and the Mad Titan podcast. Episode 25 just dropped.
I'm Adam Gertler. You can find me at Adam Gertler. I'm showing up on FX Movie Download. I'm selling you Ninja Foodies. And I was just on an episode of Best Thing I Ever Ate on Cooking Channel. I'll have what they're having, and I think there's going to be an upcoming rebroadcast of that one. And I have another episode coming up at the end of May, so check that out. And of course, at Jay Quasto is Jonny LoQuasto. At Mike Kalinowski for Mike Kalinowski. At Roxy Striar for Roxy Striar. We'll see you next time on DC Movie News.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of its owners or principals.